Dance isn't just these steps, it's so much more, and it can be so much more. My piece is called There is a River, and it is a piece that is exploring three main things. One, women and experience of trauma and pain. This biblical imagery of the river, so right now it's sourced from a Bible verse, and there's a lot of different imagery of the river throughout the Old Testament and New Testament, which I'm looking at. And then the presence and character of God. So this piece is a work in progress, and it will be shown in a more developed form at my MFA 3 showing in spring 2020. I really like working with undergraduates, and so it's really sweet for me to be able to develop solos on undergraduate dancers and see how it develops over the course of the quarter. There's always going to be things that go wrong or things that come up, and I just have to count my blessings, and count the things that are going right and put my focus on the little light, and it'll be okay, yeah. And then it wasn't until I went to college that I got into postmodern dance, which is kind of like, I describe it a little bit like the funky cousin of contemporary dance. And I started that in college. I went to undergrad at Princeton, took a class, it was like Introduction to Movement, and I was just amazed because it showed me, and I discovered that dance doesn't just have to be a series of steps, dance could be the way you process life, the way that you understand what you're going through, what society's going through, and to, affect and have dialogue with society. My goal for my audience is for them to have the feeling where they're touched. So it's kind of like when you hear really good music and you're like, oh, that was, there's just something about you that it hits your heart. I was watching a poet, and they described that moment as the moment where your heart lays open. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so for me, what's most important my audience feels is that they feel a moment where they're impacted, or feel the moment where they're touched, and that I hope to hear what those moments are for each of my audience members.